Hello, I'm Jonathan Taylor, Director of Capital Outlay at Virginia State University. Today I wanted to talk about the MS4 program. The program is set by the Clean Water Act, a federal law that is mandated to protect all sectors of our country's surface waters.
In 2010, Chesapeake Bay was designated a national treasure, and shortly after that came the Chesapeake Bay TMDL. The TMDL stands for Total Maximum Daily Load, which is essentially a pollutant diet, is what the Chesapeake Bay program calls it. And the diet is a restriction on the amount of pollutants that can go into the water before it becomes impaired. And so for the Chesapeake Bay, the pollutants of concern are sediment and nutrients, or nitrogen and phosphorus. So the Chesapeake Bay TMDL is focused on the reduction of sediment and nutrients downstream. It's designated based on geographic location. We are in the James River Basin. And then the other way that the TMDL is allocated is to source sector. There's agricultural source sector, wastewater, and what's relevant to this project here is the urban stormwater sector.
The MS4 has requirements to reduce our total daily maximum load pollutants. We have to reduce the pollutants coming from campus. The stream restoration is an excellent cost-effective way to reduce these pollutants.
Well, there's lots of reasons to do a stream restoration project. Some include protecting property from loss of property. Up until recently, a lot of stream restoration projects were to mitigate for land development projects. But by and large, throughout the state and even the rest of the Chesapeake Bay, today when you see a stream restoration project, the goal is really to reduce the degradation of sediment and nutrients downstream.
The benefit of the Fleets Branch stream restoration is it reduces the amount of pollutants discharged into the Appomattox and to the Chesapeake Bay program. VSU is required to reduce our campus pollutants.
VSU was allocated a waste load allocation for their TMDL compliance because they're a designated MS4 in the urban stormwater sector. And so because of that, the university is required to come up with projects, or in this case, one big project that will reduce the amount of sediment and nutrients downstream. So we have Fleets Branch that discharges to the Appomattox River, that goes into the James River, and then ultimately to the Chesapeake Bay.
Hi, I'm Kristen Pruitt with Finish Line Environmental, and we are the construction company that is performing stream restoration services here at Virginia State University, a stream called Fleets Branch. And if you look here, we started several months ago. We were working from the bottom of the stream and working back up towards the beginning. Finish Line Environmental was incorporated in 1997 by a gentleman named Nelson Cole. And he passed away suddenly in 2015, and I, at that time, purchased the company from his family. It's a unique company. It's a small company. It's a woman-owned company now. We have about 15 to 18 employees at any one time, and our main focus is stream restoration. In growing up, we all can relate to stream. Who hasn't splashed around in a stream in rubber boots when they were little? So this allows us to get back in as adults and splash around in the stream and play while creating something, bringing something back to life, as well as allowing our owners to meet certain governmental requirements that they have to make. The big challenge on this project is there's only one access. It's next to a ball field and it's at the very top of the stream. The other unique challenge is the pedestrian bridge, which you see further upstream, and getting equipment. So the access is actually at the top of the stream. That pedestrian's the size, you can use a lot bigger equipment. However, due to the access, we had to make do and use smaller sized equipment to start the project.
What you'll notice is that there's incised banks. That means that there's vegetation along the existing banks is not stable. Even though there's some older, bigger trees, what happens is the water starts to channelize faster and faster and then takes with it the sediment that's stabilizing the trees, and then we have the trees falling over. Then behind the trees, that sediment gets taken away as well, and that sediment is typically bound with nutrients as well. And once you start to have a straightened, channelized stream, then that perpetuates the problem upstream and downstream, because flows upstream then just pass right through with their pollutants with no treatment. As the stream erodes and straightens out, it loses connection with the floodplain, and so you start to see the vertical banks get higher and higher and lose that good established vegetation and root masses that stabilize the banks. So once that happens, once you have those vertical banks, it's very difficult for the stream to restore itself. And again, that just perpetuates the problem up and downstream and exacerbates the discharge of pollutants and nutrients downstream.
By slowing the energy of the stream, allowing any surcharges from thunderstorms, allow it to dissipate quickly into the floodplain and slow the energy, reducing the erosion and reducing the discharge of pollutants from campus. So this stream restoration will provide an aesthetic quality, but it also provides the requirement of reducing the pollutants into the Appomattox and ultimately Chesapeake Bay.
The other unique circumstance or challenge about this stream is the design. We're actually moving the channel. So they had a lot of erosion issues that you've seen that Timmons has talked about earlier. So in order to mitigate some of those erosion issues, they're actually moving the stream over here to the right. And what that causes is, what do you start at the top of the stream? Do you start at the bottom? Because if you start at the top and you finish, you're putting in a lot of stream crossings. You might have 13 to 14 different stream crossings to get down to the bottom. So what we do here at the bottom and work backwards to simplify the mobilization of equipment back and forth along the timber mats. In stream restoration, you're working in very delicate areas, and you're having to maneuver, you're having to try to save as many trees as you can. We can only disturb each day what we can stabilize at the end of the day. So when our crews leave at the end of the day, they can't have any exposed dirt. Everything needs to be matted or covered up in the event that a storm pops up. So in clearing, we can go and clear cut, but we leave the stumps in the ground. And then we pull the stumps out as we move along. So it's slower. It's sort of like a delicate surgery, if you will, and it takes a lot more time. You're improving on something that is existing and not working. You're doing something to make it work. I like construction, especially stream construction, reconstruction, is because it's creating something new. You're playing with water, playing with rocks, creating waterfalls. It's fun.
So what we want to have happen is we're looking for a stable stream. We're looking for a stream that has a low flow channel or a base flow channel that just meanders through its floodplain and then has that connection to the floodplain with stable vegetation, so that when the stream water level rises from a storm event, that water then is slowed down through the meanders, and it also is, the water quality is treated in some respects by that slower velocity and the ability of the floodplain vegetation to take out some of the sediment and nutrients and absorb some of those pollutants.
Stream restoration began in February of 2020. The project is anticipated to continue through the spring and summer, and we're hoping that it will be completed early fall.
So we want mature vegetation with proper root mass, And once this project is complete, that's exactly what we're going to have. Functioning stream that will result in much, much less degradation of sediment and nutrients downstream and ultimately to the Chesapeake Bay.